Welcome to episode 14 of The Grocery Guru with Andrew Grant. Andrew, how are you?
Hi, Darren. Good. Thank you. You?
Yeah, I'm good. Looks like you're at your mum's, am I guessing?
I am at the homely palatial pile.
Very nice, very nice. All right, looks lovely. This week, I think we're talking about range reviews, range resets, that sort of thing. That's what we discussed.
Yeah, I think I think we said last week not a lot happening out there. But the only bit of newsworthy stuff to come out is Morrisons have had a virtual supplier conference and have announced a major category reset. What I found quite funny actually is some of the learned publications out there picked up the fact that it's a 170 category range review.
Wow.
But published it as Morrisons to change 170 products. Yeah.
Well, that's not many, so that shouldn't take long.
It'll take them about 12 minutes, I reckon, yeah. But no, it's 170 categories, full-on range reset by the sounds of it, and utilising their new Morrisons Edge shopper insight technology.
And is this their hookup with IRI, am I guessing?
Yeah, with IRI.
Okay, so a crazy time to be doing a range review, range reset?
Well, yeah, exactly. That was my first thought. We don't know what the new normal is. So they're going to be looking at a year's worth of data when, just take a few categories. People haven't really bought any sandwiches for lunch. Yeah. People haven't been doing meal deals. Everybody's been baking at home and cooking at home. So ready meal sales probably aren't reflective of whatever the new normal is. So I think it's quite difficult to do a range review when the world's been turned upside down. Why the timing now is slightly bizarre to me.
I don't know. I mean, it's a topsy-turvy time, obviously, to do it, and you're basing it on data that may then change as shopper habits change. We come out of lockdown, blah blah blah. Is it a brave move to be doing it? I think not. Is my suspicion. Not
well,
I
suppose as long as they put a common sense rule over it, but obviously we don't know what data will come out, but you can sort of, with some of the macro trends we've talked about over the last few months, you can almost imagine a situation where, a whole aisle of flour, you delist ready meals, you take out front of store and fill it with masks.
Yes.
That ain't going to be the new normal back in, hopefully in May, June, July.
You're right, it's not. And I think we could both credit our friends in Bradford with more intelligence. And of course, they're not going to put a whole Isle of Mars in. But it comes down to the nitty gritty, doesn't it? Are they going to extend baking by 20% and then try and change it again in June where they go, hold on, we're now not all baking?
Maybe. Yeah, no, exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So it will be interesting. And I guess for the suppliers out there, our clients, it's going to be quite a challenging range reset for them to go through. And, I guess our message is, we've got a lot of experience of this, and obviously the inevitable negotiations that will come to fruit from the winners and the losers being put under pressure. Yeah. So I guess the message of today's webinar is that, we're here to help. If there's any Morrisons supplier out there caught up in this range reset, quite important, I think, that they spend the commensurate amount of time on it, because it's going to be a weird one.
It is, and also not forgetting we've got our new man in the office, Mark White. So G Scott is looking down with a fresh lens at D-lists, which Morrisons could come a cropper on if they're not careful with those. I'm sure they are.
Well, as always, there's a new adjudicator there. I think we've said way back in an earlier one of these. Yeah, he will want to make his mark. What is it? The famous first 100 days?
Yes.
He must be coming close to that. So I'm sure he'll want to make his mark. But we've seen that all the signed up retailers under G Scott, they do pretty much play by the rules.
Yes. Yes, we've got the Code Confident Pack, which was launched a couple of weeks ago by Mark, which we've had a look at. Yeah, thumbs up to that. And then that made me think about Biden's first 100 days. Quick note to him. I think he's made some cracking decisions of basically overturning everything that Trump did.
Probably not a difficult first 100 days for him, but probably outside our remit, I think, Darren.
I think so. So let's come back to range reviews. Your experience, what would you tell the people watching this on range reviews? I've got a couple of things I'd share, but what would you say, having been through probably hundreds?
You've just got to immerse yourself in the data and, come up with stick with the shopper, as we've always said. Shopper is king. Start with the shopper and work back.
Yes.
I guess if you're a supplier or a brand that gets genuinely bad news, in the sense that your products are no longer shopper relevant, then you're going to have to do some very, very deep navel gazing, because otherwise you'll just end up basically spending money to keep listed, which might work in the short term, may buy you the time to sort of re-strategize in the medium term. But other than that, suppliers need to be all over the numbers and really understand why, if we're talking Morrisons, why Morrisons shoppers buy their products, and build themselves an armory of insights. So when the inevitable conversation comes along, be it good or bad, it'll inevitably be attached to money. Yep. They can have a very forceful and logical argument based on Morrisons' own shopper behaviours.
Yeah, like that. My own experience of being on the sidelines and watching some reviews is that they don't start with an objective. So the objective should be, we're going to make X more money. We're going to attract 10% more clients. And what's your famous phrase? Wop, fop, and pen?
Yeah.
Just explain that so these guys know what we're talking about.
But it's very simple. The only three ways you can add value to a category is bring your shoppers in, which is penetration, the hardest one to achieve. Get customers to spend more. That's weight of purchase, value weight of purchase, or get them to buy bigger packs, volume weight of purchase, or get them to buy more often, get them to come in every week rather than every fortnight, which is frequency.
Lovely. I like that. Wop, fop, and pen. That's right, isn't it?
Wop, pen. Yeah.
So you either get more shoppers in, you get them to buy more, or you get them to buy more often,
or ideally all three.
Or all three. And our suggestion should be that your range review would start with an objective of one of those. Now, typically, when you move one of those dials, one of the others goes back down. But overall, you should add to your category 3%, 5%. We're going to get 10,000 more customers.
Yeah, and one of the dynamics of this pandemic is frequency has dropped considerably.
Yes.
So people have gone back to a bi-weekly or even a monthly shop. As we said right at the start this morning, people aren't popping in every day for lunch and picking up their dinner because they're stuck at home, and they're probably getting the delivery. We've seen talked about home deliveries a lot. They're getting a home delivery truck every 2 weeks. So frequency has dropped dramatically. But I remember Tesco's financial statement, the weight of purchase has rocketed. And particularly in areas like beers, wines and spirits, obviously, because there's no pubs to go to.
Well, how else do we get through lockdown? One last piece from me on range reviews is that I see suppliers and supermarkets treating every SKU the same in terms of availability. But if we understand that this SKU is substitutable, then maybe this SKU will be bought in its place. We don't need to drive 100% availability of this one because they'll buy this one. But you take tobacco, 100% availability, of course, because you're not going to buy anything else. But there are other SKUs that will be more substitutable. So one of the things I would advocate is an availability strategy along with the range.
Well, it's the basic building blocks of category management: complementarity and substitutability. And it's where, if you are a product that is not substitutable, and I'd say something like HP sauce. If you want, people buy HP sauce because it's HP sauce.
Yep.
A few people may buy the own label, but pretty much it's an unsubstitutable product.
Agreed.
So you can build yourself a very strong argument for being in a category if people will walk away if that particular product isn't available. But then complementarity is very important. If you're selling jam, you probably have to sell spreads and bread. So again, you can create yourself strong category arguments based on you're either not substitutable or you're highly complementary to some of the major basket items.
Good, like it. I'm going to leave you with a question, see if you can answer it. HP, what does it stand for?
Houses of Parliament, isn't it? Used to be on the labels.
Very good. Okay.
Used to be on the labels back in the day.
I'll catch you out next time. Andrew, for this week, thank you very much. I'll press
okay.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.